What's the difference between affect and effect? Can you tell the difference between advice and advise? Let's find out in today's lesson. Welcome to Learn English with Mandla. Remember to subscribe. First, which sentence is correct? Affect versus effect. The new law will affect the environment. That's A. B. The new law will have a positive effect on the environment. Can you guess which one is correct? Is it A or B? That's right. B. Effect is the result, while affect would be used if talking about influence. So let's look at this confusing pair. Affect versus effect. So affect, pronunciation first is affect versus effect, effect. So let's start with affect. This is a verb. It means to influence something or someone. Example, the weather can affect your mood. Right? To influence something. So the weather can affect your mood. So when do we use this word affect? Well, this is used when describing how one thing influences another. Let's give another example. The new law will affect the economy. Example, the news can affect your mood, especially if it's something upsetting. And another example, the cold weather might affect the crops this year. So this is all affect. This is a verb. That's right. So to influence something or someone. So how about effect, the noun? This means the result or outcome of a particular action or event. Again, effect, which is a noun. For example, the new law had a positive effect on the economy. This is usually used when talking about the result of something. The effect of the weather was noticeable in people's attitudes. Or, the new law had a positive effect on the healthcare system. The effect of a new technology on productivity was remarkable. So that is effect. And what does it mean again? The result or outcome of a particular action or event. Great. Let's move on to the next confusing pair. Advice versus advise. Question. Which of these two is a noun? A. I need your advice on this project. B. I need your advice on this project. So which one is a noun? That's right. B. Advice is the noun. Advise is the verb. So advice, the noun, it just means for guidance or recommendation. This is when we'd use to give someone some guidance or recommendations. For example, my teacher gave me great advice on how to improve my writing. Right? Advice. Okay? So, the situation that you would use this typically is when offering a suggestion or just recommendations. Let's look at an example. He asked for my advice on the project. Or she gave me some helpful advice about my career path. And last example, I always ask my mentor for advice before making big decisions. So that is advice. Okay? And advice, we said, is a noun. That's right. How about advise? Notice the pronunciation. Advise. This is a verb to give someone advice or recommend something. For example, I strongly advise you to take the IELTS preparation course. This is typically used when you are giving advice or suggesting something. Let's look at more examples. I advise you to study for at least an hour every day. Or, I would advise you to check the weather before your trip. And the last one, the doctor will advise you on the best treatment options. So, remember, advise, which is a verb. Great. I hope that clears a few things that usually confuse you. The next confusing pair is farther versus further. Question: which word refers to physical distance? A. The train station is further down the road. B. The train station is farther down the road. That's right. B refers to physical distance, farther. Let's have a look. So for farther, right, this is an adjective. It refers to physical distance, as we already said. Example, the gas station is farther down the road. So the typical situation you use this word farther would be used when describing actual physical distance. I know this is really confusing and a lot of people get confused between these words. So for example, how farther is the airport from here? Remember, we're intending for physical distance. Next one, the store is farther down the street than I expected. Or, I walked farther than I planned to today. Great, so that's all for farther, which is for physical distance. Now, how about further? Also an adjective, further. This is used to refer to figurative distance or just additional information. For example, we need to discuss further steps in the project. So this is typically used when referring to something more abstract, to things that are more abstract, like progress or more details. For example, I need to further explore this topic before making a decision. Or, we need to take further steps to address the issue. And just the last one, the investigation will go further into the details of the case. So this is further, used for more figurative or giving details, or figurative distance and giving more details. I hope you understand that. The next confusing pair is sees versus sees. Don't be confused. Yes, the pronunciation is the same. So which word means to stop? The company will cease its operations. A. The company will cease its operations. B. The company will cease its operations. That's right, it's B. Means to stop. So cease, the verb, to stop or bring to an end. For example, the company decided to cease production of the product. This is typically used when an action or an operation comes to an end. The factory will cease operations next month. Or the company decided to cease operations. Or the company decided to cease offering the product due to low demand. The workers ceased their protest after reaching an agreement. So again, that is cease, which is a verb, but it means to stop or bring an end to something. How about the next one, cease? Exactly the same. It's a verb too, it's just a different spelling. It means to take hold of something suddenly or forcefully. The police seized the illegal goods. This is typically used when something is taken quickly, often by force. Another example, he tried to seize control of the company during the meeting. The police seized the stolen goods from the thief's home. Or, the army tried to seize control of the city during the conflict. So that is the second one. Also a verb, pronounced the same, just different spelling, seize. Which of these two have you heard before? Or which of the two have you never heard before? Okay, our last pair, principal versus principal. So, which word refers to the head of a school? A. The principal of the school gave a speech. B. The principal of the school gave a speech. Correct. The correct answer is A. Principal is the head of the school. Let's start with principal as the head of a school or an organization. This is a noun. Example, the principal of the school gave a speech at the graduation. This is typically used where you refer to the leader of an organization or a school. Example, the principal will be meeting with the teachers tomorrow. Or the principal gave a speech at the school's anniversary celebration. And last, the principal asked all the teachers to attend a meeting after school. So that is principal, the verb, but for the head of a school. How about principle, the second one, noun, pronounced the same. This means a fundamental belief or truth. One important principle of business ethics is honesty. This is typically used when you're referring to core beliefs or ethical values. He believes in the principle of fairness in every decision. Or, one of the most important principles in business is treating people with respect. Or, he made decisions based on the principle of fairness. Yes, English can be really confusing at times. So, do tell me which of these confusing pairs were difficult for you at the beginning. And now that you know, which of them will you start using? So now that you know the difference between affect and effect, advice and advise, father and further, sees and sees, and principle and principle. Remember to keep practicing these words and you'll speak more confidently. Which word pair do you still find more confusing? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more lessons to help you master English. Remember to keep practicing.